I am Abraham Lincoln, and this is my story. I was born on February 12, 1809, the second child of Thomas Lincoln and Nancy Hanks Lincoln, in a log cabin on Sinking Spring Farm near Hodgenville, Kentucky. On October 5, 1818, Nancy Lincoln succumbed to milk sickness, leaving 11-year-old Sarah in charge of a household including her father, 9-year-old Abraham, and Nancy's 19-year-old orphan cousin, Dennis Hanks. 10 years later, on January 20, 1828, Sarah died while giving birth to a stillborn son, devastating me. As a teen, I took responsibility for chores and customarily gave my father all earnings from work outside the home until I was 21. I was tall, strong, and athletic, and became adept at using an axe. I was an active wrestler during my youth and trained in the rough catch-as-catch-can style, also known as catch wrestling. I became county wrestling champion at the age of 21. I was an American lawyer and statesman who served as the 16th President of the United States from 1861 until my assassination in 1865. I led the nation through the American Civil War and succeeded in preserving the Union, abolishing slavery, bolstering the federal government, and modernizing the U.S. economy. I was self-educated and became a lawyer, Whig Party leader, Illinois state legislator, and U.S. congressman from Illinois. In 1839, I met Mary Todd in Springfield, Illinois, and the following year we became engaged. I was an affectionate husband and father of 4 sons, though my work regularly kept me away from home. I became a leader in the new Republican Party, and reached a national audience in the 1858 Senate campaign debates against Stephen Douglas. I ran for president in 1860, sweeping the North to gain victory. Pro-slavery elements in the South viewed my success as a threat to slavery, and Southern states began seceding from the Union. To secure its independence, the new Confederate states fired on Fort Sumter, a U.S. fort in South Carolina, and I called up forces to suppress the rebellion and restore the Union. I had to navigate a contentious array of factions with friends and opponents from both the Democratic and Republican parties. My allies, the War Democrats and the Radical Republicans, demanded harsh treatment of the Southern Confederates. Anti-war Democrats despised me, and irreconcilable pro-Confederate elements plotted my assassination. I managed the factions by exploiting their mutual enmity, carefully distributing political patronage, and by appealing to the American people. I managed my own successful re-election campaign. I sought to heal the war-torn nation through reconciliation. On April 14, 1865, just days after the war's end at Appomattox, I was attending a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., with my wife Mary when I was fatally shot by Confederate sympathizer John Wilkes Booth. I'm remembered as a martyr and hero of the United States and often ranked as the greatest president in American history. Now, listen to some quotes of mine. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. You can fool all the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. I don't like that man. I must get to know him better. Government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Character is like a tree and reputation like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it, the tree is the real thing. I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. It has been my experience that folks who have no vices have very few virtues. When I do good I feel good, when I do bad I feel bad, and that's my religion. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live by the light that I have. I must stand with anybody that stands right, and stand with him while he is right, and part with him when he goes wrong. Every man is said to have his peculiar ambition. Whether it be true or not, I can say, for one, that I have no other so great as that of being truly esteemed of my fellow men, by rendering myself worthy of their esteem. How far I shall succeed in gratifying this ambition is yet to be developed. Thank you for listening to me all this time. Please consider to subscribe and press the like button if you did like my story. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves, and under the rule of a just God, cannot long retain it. Don't worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. The shepherd drives the wolf from the sheep's throat, for which the sheep thanks the shepherd as his liberator, while the wolf denounces him for the same act as the destroyer of liberty. Plainly, the sheep and the wolf are not agreed upon a definition of liberty. As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This expresses my idea of democracy. No man is good enough to govern another man without the other's consent. All the armies of Europe, Asia and Africa combined, with all the treasure of the earth, our own excepted, in their military chest, with a Bonaparte for a commander, could not by force, take a drink from the Ohio, or make a track on the Blue Ridge, in a trial of 1,000 years. The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, so we must think anew and act anew. If we could first know where we are, and whither we are tending, we could then better judge what to do, and how to do it. Discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has superior opportunity of being a good man. There will still be business enough. A man watches his pear tree day after day, impatient for the ripening of the fruit. Let him attempt to force the process, and he may spoil both fruit and tree. But let him patiently wait, and the ripe pear at length falls into his lap. Surely God would not have created such a being as man, with an ability to grasp the infinite, to exist only for a day. No, no, man was made for immortality. Now, I will return to my peace. Farewell.